June 4th, 1942. USS Yorktown, lead ship of her class, raced through the waters northeast of the United States island of Midway, towards her final resting place.
After the aircraft were prepared, the strike group launched at 08:45 on June 4th. This consisted of 6 F-4 Wildcats from Fighting 3, 12 TBD-1 Devastators from Torpedo 3, and 17 SBD Dauntlesses from Bombing 3 and Scouting 5. The Japanese strike group was aboard their carriers rearming, but a scout plane had found Yorktown, and therefore a dilemma was faced by the Japanese. They could go after the carriers, but risk the landing force, or they could go after Midway and risk being struck by the Americans. It was this decision, or rather, lack of, that changed the course of the war forever. At noon, the Yorktown's combat force spotted the Japanese carriers. They found 4 carriers, the Kagi, Kaga, Soryu, and Hiryu, as well as 2 battleships, 4 heavy cruisers, 1 or more light cruisers, and a handful of destroyers. The TBDs began their attack, and about 14 miles from Soryu, they were engaged by A6Ms. The 6 F-4s were accompanying them. There was about 20 of these Zero fighters. Immediately, an F-4 piloted by Ensign Bassett was shot down. Out of the 12 torpedo bombers, 5 managed to drop their fish, and 1 hit with no detonation. And then the dive bombers came. The SBDs roared down like this beautiful silver waterfall, according to Lieutenant Commander Thach. They scored 3 near misses and 6 direct hits on the Soryu, engulfing her in flame and causing explosions of the ammunition improperly stowed on the ship. 2 of the SBDs switched to a light cruiser, scoring a hit and a near miss, and 2 of the other SBD Dauntlesses engaged 1 battleship with also 1 hit and 1 near miss. With 3 carriers ablaze, 1 from the Yorktown's air group, the other 2 from Enterprise's, the Japanese were thwarted. Now, the SBDs did not know that they had gained a tail from the Hiryu as they headed home. The first blow had been struck, and now it was Yorktown's turn to feel the wrath of the Imperial Japanese Navy.
Shortly after 4 p.m. on June 4th, hot lead explodes from the Yorktown's guns. The first wave of the Japanese attack has arrived. The dive bombers moved through the flak and are able to launch 4 bombs. 1 was a near miss, and 2 of them put elevators 1 and 2 out of commission. The 4th bomb struck the deck next to the island. The raid temporarily knocked out her propulsion. The damage control crews were able to get 4 of the 6 boilers working again. They were also able to patch the flight deck. Then the second attack wave arrived. This attack put 2 torpedoes into her side. This left her completely dead in the water. After this blow, the order was given to abandon ship. The crew was certain she would go down by the day's end. But USS Yorktown was able to survive the night. On June 6th, the destroyer, USS Hammond, was at her side. Repair crews had reboarded her and found her in decent shape for repairs. It was decided that she would be towed back the following day, but their hopes would soon be crushed. A straggling Japanese sub had popped up nearby. The submarine dealt the final blow to the Fighting Lady. The destroyer Hammond was sunk, and her depth charges caused minor injuries to the crew on board USS Yorktown. 2 more submarine torpedoes sent her to the bottom.
The surviving aircraft of the Yorktown Air Group were recovered aboard Enterprise, where they were launched to strike the Hiryu, alongside their VS-6 and VB-6 comrades. This raid was a success also and left the Hiryu engulfed in flames. With the thwarting of the Japanese at Midway, many lives were saved in the long run. The USS Yorktown revealed mistakes in the U.S. Navy's damage control procedures, as well as helping to fix the many weaknesses in the Yorktown class with a new generation of aircraft carriers. With the tragedy of the deaths aboard the USS Yorktown and the loss of the Fighting Lady herself, the USS Yorktown paved the way for a new breed of aircraft carrier. Her air group triumphed over the Japanese, single-handedly sinking 1 Japanese aircraft carrier and working with the Enterprise to eliminate a second. Although the Yorktown will be missed, her legacy lives forever on.